Hear ye. This is in between.
Dang.
There is cursing involved. No beeping. Go.
Yeah, no beeping. So, anyway, poor Margot Kidder, 69. That's not so much older.
Well, as I said to you earlier, I didn't know she was over 68.
I know.
thought she was gone
I
long
thought
ago.
she was older.
Is 69 young?
Yes. How old are you?
Yeah, I consider it.
Older than you is always 20 plus years.
What's
than
the
you.
life expectancy, though?
I think life expectancy is approaching 80 now.
100.
And so I'm 51. As the older I get, the more
Oh,
Yeah.
that I'm like,
yeah,
wow,
he's
that's
he's an old man, remember?
No. I mean, like, oh, but no. I know where you're going with this. Like, yeah, the older I get, I'm like, oh shit, I'm halfway through.
well, and it's now that does
20
hit me. I hate the I'm halfway through thought,
That happens to me all the time. Like, oh, I'm halfway there.
but I was just saying I forget who I was saying to this week, but 51 doesn't feel like you ever thought it would feel.
No.
I mean, outside the fact that these guys know I hurt my arm in a wreck, I've done things. Your body begins to fall apart.
Richard has hurt his ankle and stuff.
Right. But you also put your body through a hell of a lot more than we do. But
But
still,
that's not the point.
but the thing is, your body does get hurt more. Mentally, I still think of myself as that
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're
18 to 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, I
20,
can
yeah,
go.
like-
Yeah.
Like, literally today, I was, I'm 46 years old, I guess, this year. I'm walking to the bathroom to use it, and I know I have a bad poop because I'm old, and I have to have this. It's this time. I'm looking at my clock. It's time for that time poop. I'm going. 20 years ago, I could have never done any of this. I've just been just fine holding on this for a day or two, and this is what I do when I'm 45 years old. Try to time out my
The
poops.
best part of that is looking across to Richard's face as we realize we're having poop talk with Sean.
Yeah, I wake up. I have a poop. 10 minutes later, I have a poop. Another 20 minutes later, I have a poop. Then I can go to work. I got my 3 poops in the morning, and then I get to work, and I got a couple more poops to do there. Never poop on. I always poop on company time because the boss makes $1, I make a dime. Always poop on company time. That's what I know.
I don't know what to say. I don't know where to go.
Is this almost like the time that Richard
And
was
we're
made to
finished with-
watch the vomiting videos by Sean?
Oh,
Is this sort of a quick
Speaking of
correlation?
which,
I don't.
I have put 45 years of thought into where my bowel movements happen and why.
Oh, God.
And now
Can we
I've-
move on to something
I've
else?
got it all figured out, and I get paid for it.
Because the
All right?
bad thing is going to be tomorrow morning. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to think, is this your 20-minute cycle, Sean?
Nah.
I don't
Well,
want to
you're
think of
gonna
that.
It depends
His
on what time I
3-time
start
20-minute
texting.
cycle. Like, I'm sorry. No, I'm not talking. I'm not having this conversation.
You
I
don't
am
go to-
not talking about
you,
poop.
You saying you don't go to the bathroom when you wake up in the morning?
Sometimes.
Not always.
When I'm ready, it is ready, and everything is
All right,
done
so
and
when
fine.
you wake up, you have to take a poop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have to take a? Now I don't drink coffee, so I have the caffeine out of it. So it's not like I wake up, I drink my coffee. It's I wake up because I have to go to the bathroom, not because it's time for me to wake
so-
up.
So I don't poop. There are poop
Ever?
fairies that just come and magically
take
make
it
it all
away.
go
You
away.
are so full of poop.
They just take a little wand and tap it to your bottom.
What
and
is
poop
this
is gone.
conversation we are having?
Okay, so I'm going to move beyond poop talk and say this.
We will never
If-
be on poop talk.
This is the bigger concern for me is that I do enjoy my morning coffee.
Mm-hmm.
If I get interrupted, but with that, then
I don't know why Richard lost it with your drinking
I
morning
don't know.
coffee.
I just love this idea.
All right.
Like, what I do
drama.
enjoy
Here's
is my morning coffee.
Here's the bullshit I'm
Not
finished
your
with.
morning shit.
My morning coffee.
My morning coffee is a sacred moment. My wife and daughter know I'm going to sit on the couch with the dogs. And I'm telling you what, a bowel movement better not interrupt it.
Your wife and your daughter, fuck off. The dogs sit with me and
That's
drink
right.
coffee. All right.
Okay, that is my
Abby
morning
Shelley,
ritual.
Goodbye.
Because I work for a West Coast based company. I don't have to go in
You
super
have
early.
you're
I
right.
have time that's mine. I get on the couch. I read comics.
Now I
I play
understand
games.
why you ping me about you want to do this at 8 in the morning or something like
Oh,
that.
my
when I'm
goodness.
going,
Because
all
that's my
right,
hangout
about to go to
time.
work. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Is that too much for you?
I can't.
All right, so your poop schedule is what?
When it's time, it's time. It just tells me, and it happens. And
So I'm
that
like-
doesn't it happens a couple times a day, maybe 3 times a day. I don't know. It's not on a schedule. It's like, hey, it's time. And I go and poop, and it's all great, and I feel great. I feel like 8 pounds lighter, and I feel
I
great.
can't wait to have JJ in here one day and have this
Everything's
conversation.
amazing.
JJ will say no.
She'll go,
No.
no. This whole conversation, she'll like reach over and turn your laptop
Stop
off.
it, Todd. Turn it off.
Just turn it off.
I will confess this poop talk. I
Oh,
will
here we go.
confess
Uh-oh.
that before an intensive CrossFit workout, I will think to myself, maybe I should go to the
Knock
bathroom.
one out.
And most of the time, I don't actually have to go to the bathroom, but I just want to like make sure.
Push it out just in case.
Just do a little tense and release just to see.
Maybe
Do you
those-
remember that long ago when we started this, I asked you to warn me before you cursed? I'm now going to ask you if you see me putting water into my mouth, because I do all the technical
Yes.
stuff. I've got a
You
brand
wanna
new mixer
spray
here.
across the board
I
or
almost did a
everything?
spit take as you said, when I am going to have an intensive, I thought you were going to say poop.
How did
And I
you-
was like, please don't ever do that again. I've learned to anticipate when you curse. Okay, so switch subjects. Sean,
We wanted to talk about Deadpool or something.
no,
Deadpool
I actually want to. I
Solo.
want to throw out sci-fi canceling The Expanse. What the hell?
Okay.
You finally get a show that is so damn good.
Okay, let's put it this way.
Nobody
Even.
poops in space.
Well, what do they do with poop in space?
Well, they just let it float out there.
Suck it out.
I mean, they would
Okay,
so
no,
so
we
I
know what they do.
recently drove to Kentucky for my daughter's archery tournament, and we drove through so many bugs. So if you're in space and the poop's flying out, does that get all over your windshield?
We
Totally
did you
derailed to talk about the Expanse.
did you guys not see the Avengers? It's just like you pee in the cup, you poop in the cup, you throw it out in outer space, you pee in it again. That's what you do.
I know
Just
what I
with
would do
poop.
if I had the Infinity Gauntlet.
What?
Poop fairies.
You remember the part where
Wipe it all away.
you remember
So
where
to
the
speak.
Oh, wipe it all away,
Just
really?
have it magically disappear. Oh, no.
You remember
My
the part
colon is
where
clean.
Doctor Strange got kind of sucked out of the ship and then Spider-Man pulled him back
Uh-huh.
in?
Yeah.
Well, what it would be is Doctor Strange would end up with his butt in the hole, put his poop in the hole, and poop it out, and then they'd be fine. He'd pull his butt back in, they'd seal it
You
up.
realize
and be good.
everyone has already turned this episode off because they don't want to listen to
So
crap
are
talk.
you
So
naming this the
sci-fi-
in-between poop?
So sci-fi has canceled the Expanse.
Yes.
What about that, guys?
All right, so.
I was trying to get us off poop talk in the hope
I
that
know.
somebody will actually listen to this.
You don't think they've talked about poop in The Expanse? I'm sure in the books they have. 'cause
Well,
I've
you read the book, so
I've
they
read all
talk
the
about
books.
crap.
I'll tell you what. I will say this about the Expanse.
What?
They're all so fucking stiff, they probably don't take a shit. I'm sorry. That is my problem with the show, with the exception of
Avasarala?
second
my-
officer Iranian woman who's amazing.
Avasarala,
Everybody
yeah.
else
I
is
can't
just
understand the things she says. but-
clenched the entire time. The cast, the actors they showed, I'm probably getting a lot of hate mail for this.
Well,
they just
aren't they
did
in
not
the middle of a
make me
war,
feel-
so aren't they supposed to be tense?
I didn't care. I didn't care about these actors. I didn't care about their performances. I cared about her. I didn't care about anybody else. They were just stiff.
So the people that I liked the African American lady that's on.
The belter.
Yeah, first off.
That
Second,
little
I
mohawk.
actually there's something about her performance I think is very restrained, and I
It's
think
just
she
the
has a
accent.
fire.
It's just the accent.
Well, she's British.
Fine,
That
she has a
doesn't
great ass too. If I'm just going to be honest about it, and she does. But then the guy that's kind of the big brawny guy on the
Mhm.
ship, I like him. I
Yeah.
like the pilot.
Hot. The big brawny guy's hot.
hurt. Yeah, and
you know?
he knows how to wear high heels because he wasn't always in space.
Yeah. Yeah, that was joke. I found that joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like him and I like the pilot. The
Yeah,
only
the
guy that I would
Martian, yeah.
agree with you that I think is a little bit stiff is our hero.
You don't like the captain.
Oh my gosh, our captain is just like,
He's supposed to be the Earther, yeah.
But also, did they deflate him between season to season? Because I swear the first season he was kind of ripped, and all of a
he
sudden
got
now he's
super
real
thin.
skinny.
They did. They made him a little thinner, I think. Or he got thinner, something like that. I'm not really sure.
Well,
Because they stopped showing him shirtless, so clearly they
Yeah.
decided not to go in that direction.
in defense, let's keep in mind they're just kind of flying around in space and not picking up a whole lot of food. Remember, he smashed his coffee maker just because he was pissed. So
Right.
who knows what they're picking up and can
Which,
eat out
going
there.
back to the sacred nature of my coffee, when I
caffeine?
saw that, I was like, bullshit. If you if you did that, you're spaced on my shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't you fuck with my coffee. But I've said this before. They have the best sets
Oh,
of
yeah,
any
they're gorgeous.
sci-fi. That set they recently
they-
had that actually had the elevator that went up and you saw people on it because of poop talk elevator. Richard's going to lose his poop.
So,
This elevator goes
Do-
down
do-
and somebody
do-
made a hell of a mess down
do
there.
you think part of the reason
Keep
why
singing.
the show lost faith of the sci-fi was because they got rid of what's his name, which was part
Thomas
of the books.
Jane.
Thomas Jane. Do you think Thomas Jane's leaving? Now it's
don't
part of the books. I
But
mean, he
Carter
evolves,
Brooks,
right?
Richard Todd doesn't you haven't.
I've not read the books.
He doesn't know about Thomas Jane any further. So okay, we're gonna do spoilers here.
Well, don't say
Well,
it.
the show got canceled.
Well,
the
no,
show-
but now I'm going to go read the books.
They
Oh.
might, the show might be picked up by another network.
Sci-Fi
Just like-
has already said they are shopping it around to Netflix and Hulu and things like that. And the reason they state that it got canceled, and a lot of it's
It
PR.
has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
They said we're very proud of how critically acclaimed the show has been, and it's just that it's so expensive because they allowed them to do. And I'm going to be honest, those sets
they're
cost
gorgeous,
a ton of money.
but they're going to be amortized over 7, 8, 10 years potentially.
I agree. I think it's a dumb move on their part. I really do.
What's so expensive? I mean, Will and Grace has more special effects in that show.
No, Richard, it's not just the special effects. If you look at some of those sets, I mean, some of those sets are like jaw-dropping that they did this for television. When you're talking about a multi-tiered, there's actual ladders in the
can spin 360 in any direction.
How do you see the sets? Everything is just fucking blue all the time.
Because you're not paying attention.
I've been in awe of those sets the whole time.
Right.
We have TV background, so we know.
Is that it? Is that our TV snobbery we just threw
we
out?
look at stuff like that, yeah.
And my wife...
No, I don't disagree that the sets are fantastic. It's just everything is so blue that they just look like they're on the same rig down at the plumbing station to me.
And that might be like lighting for different environments. So you're lit different way on the Rocinante versus being on Earth.
They go to Earth or just in an office.
Yeah, but it's lit differently. So they make sure to light it differently on the Rocinante versus everywhere else, so you know where you are just by the lighting.
I rarely get into the please save a show thing, but I even tweeted out today. I was like, please save the show.
Weird
it's well worth it.
They just announced they're picking up a George R.R. Martin space show. So we're gonna
this is from his protege.
Yeah, so we're dumping the protege George R.R. Martin people, but picking up a George R.R. Martin space show to put back in that place from the George R.R. Martin space show that we got rid of.
I mean, if they're shopping around, they really want they just recognize that it got to a cost they couldn't afford.
Right.
But they still want to see it move on. They're not trying to kill it. They just realize that they as a network can't afford it.
And you start thinking about how much Netflix does sci-fi now.
With Altered Carbon.
They can afford this.
They could do it if they wanted to. Yeah,
and they could probably make it an even better show.
And they can make it proper where Ava Sorolla is cursing like a sailor that she does in the books and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, what does it say about the death of cable TV, though?
I thought the same thing.
No, it doesn't say anything about the death of cable TV. It says something about the death of basic cable trying to pick up a larger show. Doesn't mean they can't do a smaller show that is a more comedy or sci-fi based, but doesn't have to spend $1.5 million an episode.
It was just a decade-ish ago when those cable networks like AMC and so on and Sci-Fi were actually able to make gold off of shows that the network channels could not. So it was almost like a flip of where network could do these shows and these small channels could take risks on big budget projects and just make a mint off of it. And it became so popular that that's why you see shows at AMC and Stars and so on. And to a certain extent, even HBO's paid, right? The cable networks really brought these shows into light. And now we're seeing that media die almost in the favor of
a
streaming
Netflix
services.
or Hulu or somebody else coming in and saying, or an NBC or a CBS saying, we don't want to give that to somebody else. We want to do it with our own proprietary software. CBS doing Star Trek themselves.
Well, yeah, it's doing their own streaming service.
With DC saying we want to do DC Universe, doing Young Justice and bringing everything into our own network themselves. So,
but at which point does this all become too much?
Yeah.
Because
I don't want to spend 50 online services to watch everything.
Because being a huge Star Wars fan, Disney's bringing out their streaming service. I'm going to pay to watch Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. And me too.
Then DC says they're going to, and I'm like, I just can't keep doing this.
But with you buying Star Wars, hopefully that also means that you're buying Marvel because DC owns everything.
Sure.
So hopefully you're getting they don't do a
Disney.
This is Star
everything.
Wars.
Right.
This is Disney. This is Marvel.
You hope.
This is blah blah. This is ABC. This is you don't want them to break it. You hopefully, at least if they're going to conglomerate, they put it all in one thing.
There was the talk about how people could unplug from their cable companies and actually save money.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now
But we're
it
at the
doesn't
point
feel
now,
like that.
no, at the point where
It's
the
so
point of the
splintered.
cost of streaming services where you can't,
Where
you,
everything
it's not
is
worth
$20 a month.
You could
You're
save
back into buying
$10 by
cable.
doing this, or it's not really, it doesn't really work. What I'm most concerned